the street. In the last 60 days in this city, there have been over 30 homicides. Now, unfortunately, because they play games with crime, they only showing 15 homicides. And because I do the victim crime papers, I know our numbers for this year are approaching 100, maybe 150 homicides. So I decided to reach out to some people who I know are concerned in the community to come together today in front of the South Precinct, who has cameras that see all over the city, but ain't nobody sitting there watching the cameras so we could prevent nothing. So when we talk about the police officers being undermanned, when I'm talking about calling 973-733-6000 and now I don't get an answer, that means that crime cannot be reported. So we're playing so many games in terms of crime. We're playing so many games in terms of staff. And we have to start holding people accountable. The first person that is accountable, who is over the Newark Police Department, is the mayor, Mr. Raz Baraka. And I, Donna Jackson, am upset, angry that he has said and done nothing publicly with us in the last 60 days to have any impact on what's going on these streets. I'm secondly upset because our mayor has not asked for any additional resources, and if he has, he did it in his sleep, because I ain't hear him, to come into this city to help us do what we have to do. He met with the governor in terms of the school stuff, and at that same conversation, he should have said to him, I need additional state police officers on the ground with my officers in North. Because when I keep returning to crime scenes that officers have to hold when there's a shooting and or a homicide, and there are only 2 officers, I'm angry. When there's 80 and 90 family members trying to get to that crime scene, and 2 officers have to try to tell this family to remain at bay, because it happens. Now, they're not going to admit it, but I'm going to say it because I'm standing there. When the young lady got killed on Central and 11th, her whole family was out there. There were 2 officers on Central Avenue and 11th Street trying to keep them at bay.
So, Ms. Jackson, how do you think that Irvington was able to get state troopers? Irvington, much smaller than Newark, but yet Newark, we can't get that same kind of help.
Well, there's 2 things going on in Irvington. Irvington was under the state decree.
Okay.
And I think as a part of that state decree, they demanded that those state officers stay in place. But I think in Newark right now, we have not asked for anything. I don't think we've demanded enough. That does not fall on the police director. That's not his job. That is our elected officials' job. On the state level, our elected officials on the state level have failed us tremendously. Our federal elected officials have failed us miserably. But I got to start with the head of the chicken. And the head right here in Newark, where I live at, is Mayor Rock. And I know people don't like for folks to challenge. People don't like for nobody to say nothing negative. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth.
So what do you think happened to the $5 million worth that Menendez said he was going to send us? Did he send it to us?
Well, I know that Senator Menendez said that he was going to send money for 9 additional officers at 9. When the young man got killed on 11th at 13th Avenue, the pizza homicide. My anger with that is you responded to one incident, Menendez. You represent the whole state. You represent the whole city when you're sitting on the federal level. My other piece of anger is Senator Booker said absolutely nothing, and the other one, Congressman Payne, that also does nothing, said and did nothing. I think that at this point, that no one has reached out to the police director. If they have, he's standing here, correct the record for himself, and ask this man what he needs. We have officers retiring every month. They are running from every police department. I know the county police resources are strained. I know the state police officers are restrained. But if the governor could send 150 state troopers to Baltimore while they having a riot, he could send 150 police officers to Newark, New Jersey, because we having a riot. We just ain't burning buildings, we killing them. We not knocking down something and keeping the police from getting in their barracks. We robbing folks. And I don't think that the police director or anybody on this police force intentionally is not doing what needs to be done. I'm saying, because I see it, I'm not asking no officer nothing. That's why I respond in the city the way I respond. I see it. There's not enough officers We don't have enough people to keep a lid on this. And right now, we need to put a lid with some nails, with some wood, with some steel on top of it, and get a handle on what's going on in this city. There is a shooting in this city every day. The amount of shootings we ain't even going to talk about, because if I put that number out there, you know my number and the actual number is not going to be the same. So I would say 1,000.
So
and I would say that everybody who's shot don't go to the hospital, because I've met kids that got bullets in them that won't go. So that's never reported.
So other than officers, what other resources?
So other than officers, as when we met with the governor before, we need extra resources in the victim crime office to give people resources that they need. To get shot for the first time is a traumatic experience. People need to be able to go to counseling. The other resources is we need to partner with these churches. These churches need to do something. And we need to stop playing with this curfew thing. That is a joke that nobody should even mention out their mouth. If we can't maintain the crime we got now, and we can't, who gonna pick the juveniles up after 10? I'll wait. Oh, I didn't think so. We can't pick up, if a robbery happened in that store right across the street at 9 o'clock, although the precinct is right here, it's gonna take more than 10 minutes for response time if there's no weapon involved.
So what church is on board?
Okay, I don't know what churches is on board. I don't know nobody in the community that's on board. And in order for us to do an effective curfew program, those things have to be put in place. You have to have the people in the community involved that want to do work with our young people, that want to do it. Not that's forced to do it, not that you told to come, people who really want to work and try to show these kids a better way. Somebody who wants to encourage these children to go back to school so they ain't hanging out at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Somebody who wants to work with their parents who are having either a hard time reading them in to do what they have to do, or just don't do it. And consequences need to be given. The other piece is that hopefully from this will force these elected officials to sit down and talk for real, because I don't know what kind of meetings y'all have, because you're not coming up with no solutions. Essex County is over the whole juvenile piece right now.
Exactly.
Kids let the ankle bracelet run out, nobody don't come to their house. Kids got a curfew, they got to be in the house every night by 7 o'clock. If the kid's not there at 7 o'clock, the parole and probation officer is not coming. If these things are not put in place for our children to know when you do A, B is going to happen, the consequences, then this is all for naught. Now, a parent know the consequences. You let me miss my appointment to get my food stamps redone. Guess what the consequence is? I don't get no more food stamps.
So do you think station house adjustment at the juvenile level could help us in terms of when we see a juvenile on that path, when he's been in and out of the youth house 20 times, or he gets caught in that stolen car, and then we send him to the youth house? Do you think that there's something that we can do in terms of with that juvenile at that point?
Well, we should have done something before that point, because if you 20 times, you ain't coming home. Those are the ones that need to be in there. For when kids are arrested and finally get to court and they got 10, 15, 20 previous carjackings, we failed them by not holding them accountable to what needs to go on. So, station house adjustment needs to happen on both ends. We just had a young man die in Green Street. I know nobody don't want to talk about that today, but he was in there for some traffic violations. He was a diabetic. Now, there's a couple of stories going around, but as per the family telling me, the young man didn't have his medication. The young man passed away. Okay? If we don't understand and know that we need to have a better way of processing folks that need to come into the system and those that don't. We use the same process for somebody who owed a $20 fine as for a person who just killed 5 people. And that process has got to change. We don't need somebody with a traffic violation, somebody who forgot to renew their insurance, somebody whose registration expired on their car. We all going to Green Street. That's a waste of the officer's time. That's a waste of my time. Okay? That's something that should be solved in station house adjustment, not only on the juvenile level, but the adult level. There needs to be a panel of people, however they put it together, that someone should go in front of if there's a violation. I should not have cuffs put on me for a parking ticket. I should have my picture taken and my fingerprint. That's just anywhere. That is not a criminal offense.
And so now our director is here with us, and we're glad.
Yes, and the director is here, and he has a response. And I know everybody might not agree, but I'm telling you, if you talk to a reasonable police officer, to lock somebody up because their registration is expired on their car with what's going on in North right now is a waste of time. to lock somebody up because you pull them over and they got parole violations of money, $400, $500 from 2080. From 1980, from 1990. Yeah, because I'm excited. It's a waste of their time. If I couldn't pay the damn fine in 20 years, in 10 years, I can't pay it. You should have gave me community service and waived it. So we got officers chasing little nonsense that makes no impact on the community. As a matter of fact, it does impact the community, because then that family is now left to scramble to try to get a $500, $400. We had a young man in Green Street for $132. I should not be sitting in the city or county jail for a fine that is more than 10 years old. It just should not be. And if we cannot get these elected officials in this city that represent us on all levels of government, because that's what this is about today. It's about the representation on all levels of government, but I am very angry, okay? And I know some of y'all out there got an attitude, I don't care, that my mayor has not taken the same measures that he would have taken when he was not the mayor if this amount of murder would have been going on. Because if this would have happened pre-Mayor Baraka, we would have been locking down. 19th Street would have been locked down. Not no one day, not no Occupy the Block. It would have been locked down. We would have been talking about Corey for 2 or 3 days. So I want the old Mayor Baraka to come back, to get out here. When you're going to do Occupy the Block, you need to occupy the block with services. You can't just go out there talking to people, selling them hope that's not there. You have to talk to people in reality terms, and we're not doing that. We have to do realistic things in realistic time. Most of the people out here that's doing the crimes, and I'm going to finish with this, don't want to be doing it. They don't. But what's going on in this city right now, we get ready to have 1,000 people at the school board. We ain't hiring no new people at the city. We don't have enough people in sanitation. We can't pick up that garbage. We're not getting those guys their raise. Everything plays a role in what's going on. And when a kid, 14, 15, 16-year-old, walk in their house and there's no food on the table and that mother is working, that's a hard decision to keep sitting there day after day after day and not eating. I don't know many of us standing right here right now that knows what that is. To go a whole day, to go a whole 2 days and not eat. I don't know if we know that. But we are experiencing that in this city. So there's city issues, there are family issues, and we need to pull the resources together on all levels to make sure that they work. There are parents that are reaching out for help with their children, and there's nobody to help them. Because these juvenile programs, quote unquote, that we have, everybody likes to have them on paper, and at the end of the day, they're not doing the work. And in our community, we got to learn how to hold everybody accountable. And I mean everybody. Cesar, you want to say something? Okay. Director Venable, if you would like to. Yes. Come on.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to make it short. However, yes, there's a lot of things that Donna has said today that is accurate. We're not denying that. The thing is, the problem is, we don't have enough officers. Now today, we don't have enough officers to respond to calls like we've done in the past. We don't have enough officers to do some of the smaller things that we used to do with road safety checkpoints and things like that. We only have enough officers to respond to our violence. And though we do. Currently, we have 51 homicides. That's what we have. Last year, this time, we had 50. So across the whole United States, crime is up. Murders are up. But we're not concerned about that. We need the amount of support and the resources that we can get in this city to protect Newark, because we care about Newark. So with the officers that we have, we're stressed, we're stretching ourselves from one place to another. Sure, we used to have a lockdown back, but we also have 400 more police officers. So we need our state officials, and this is what it is really, we need our state governor's office to work with our mayor. I know personally our mayor have reached out to our governors, and they haven't returned any calls to me, and no one has asked me anything, but he has reached out. But we need our governor to participate and to coordinate his efforts with our mayor. It may be political. I'm going to say this because I'm not a politician. I think it's political. I think it's political reasons why we don't have the state police here. We had Tide Tag here last year working for us, and it worked very well. It helps us augment. The state police need to be in this city. The prosecutor's office to this day is not giving us the resources that they need, whether it be budget or whatever. But Newark is the hub of most of the violence that happens in this city. So it's just a cry out to me for people in the state governor's office and the prosecutor's office to work with our mayor in our city to get us more resources. That's all I have to say about this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
One good question for the police officer, no?
All right.
Let you take care of it, sir, but that's
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay, let's